We're live. We're
All
here.
Right, here we are. Podcast numero uno for our two leagues, right?
Yep. We're gonna do the youth league first because they're more important because the men's league is dumb.
Yep, mostly because the youth don't have the attention span to wait through the first part, right?
That's probably true too. But also, I lost in the men's league and I won in the youth league.
So we talked that one first. All
Yeah.
right. So the first league is the FVCFFL, right?
FVY.
Or no, the IFFL, right?
No, it's the FVYFFL.
Yes,
the
we have to change it.
FVCFFVYFFL.
We have to change it this year. That's right.
It's the Fox Valley Christian
I have to change
Fellowship
it.
Fox Valley Youth Fantasy Football League.
Oh my gosh, that's a great one.
I think it's amazing. Anyways, the first thing we're going to talk about, are we going to do the draft first or are we going to do the other thing first?
Let's start with our quick question.
Okay.
So, quick question for the night.
Yeah.
We're going to try to open with a quick question for each one of our podcasts, something interesting.
And while he's doing that, I'm getting some caffeine-free Coke.
And I'm going to have a drink of my caffeine-free Mountain Dew.
Because we're old.
Mm-hmm. So, which one of the quick questions do we want to do? What do you like?
The players that I hate and I'll never
All right,
draft.
let's do that one. So the quick question for tonight is, which fantasy football player or players, one or two, will you never draft and why?
The first one that comes to my mind is wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald.
That's surprising because he hasn't been too bad.
He's horrible.
He's been a number one wide receiver.
I don't think he has. If he has been, he's been like the number 10 or 12 wide receiver all the time.
Okay.
They always say that he gets a ton of catches in PPR leagues, but he just stinks. And I hate him. He never gets touchdowns. He's got horrible quarterbacks. I never want him on my team. Judah always wants him, and I never want him on my team, and I think he's stupid.
All right.
Sorry, whoever has him. Do you know who even has him?
I don't remember. Oh, Ryan got him, remember? Because in the draft...
No, in the youth league. This is
that's right. Sorry. The youth league...
I'll look it up.
No, I don't. That's a good question.
Why you tell me I'm wrong about Larry Fitzgerald?
No, actually, we're going to stay with wide receivers because my guy that I will never draft again is Julio Jones. I mean, again, everybody says how amazing the guy is, and when you watch him play actual football, yes, he plays great, but... Every time I've had him twice, I think, in the league, and once in the men's.
Nelson has him.
Twice in the men's league. Nelson. No, it's Luis.
No, Nelson has Larry Fitzgerald.
Luis has Julio Jones.
But I had Julio Jones last year, and he was on my championship team, but he still stunk.
Yeah, but last year he had 2 games where he had like 40 points. And then he had 12 games where he had 7.
One game he had like 250 yards or something.
And I mean, I get it, but that's not for me. So that's my guy.
I agree.
My non-guy.
I could have gotten Julio Jones, drafted him this year, and I told him not to. And I could have traded with Luis for Julio Jones for Melvin Gordon when I made that trade. But I did not want him on my team either.
I don't blame you.
So we agree on yours and we disagree on mine. Why do you like Larry Fitzgerald?
I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites, but I'm not opposed to him. But, I wouldn't have picked him as a number one.
I think you wish he was your son instead of Isaac is what I think.
No. All right, moving on. So we're going to talk a little bit about...
Let's talk about your game first. Is that okay?
My game first.
We're going to do the draft. Sorry, go ahead, do the draft.
So let's talk a little bit about the draft. So what were some of your best and worst parts of the draft, a particularly good pick, something that you noticed from the draft?
Well, the best thing was last year for the youth league, everybody was horrible at the draft except for us two.
Yeah.
Everybody else was horrible, and you guys did an amazing job drafting this year.
Yeah, it was really good. We got down to the level where I have never drafted the players that we got so far deep into the draft. I've never seen those players drafted until this year. It was really good.
I also, people prepared for the draft.
Yeah.
Maverick and Goose and Frankie and, your kids do, my son does because they're part of our family. But Nelson put more... I think than anybody else research into the draft, and I think it's going to pay off.
He had some good picks. I think he probably had the smartest pick with Gronk at the beginning of round 3. That's exactly where I took him in the men's league, and that really is a good pick. I thought getting Gronk was
he took Le'Veon Bell, which hasn't worked out, but it will.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald, who I hate. which I was glad he took, but it's working out.
Yeah.
Gronk, Marshawn Lynch, Marvin Jones, Robert Woods was great in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, he got in the 8th round. Austin Eckler, I had Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
I wanted Austin Eckler. He stole him. Jacksonville defense, he's got a good team.
Yeah, he turned out okay. One of the things I noticed was I thought it was amusing that you went the all RB approach in the youth league, where you had 4 RBs before you
I took let me look it up. I took 3 receivers, 3 running backs, and then a receiver, and then another running back. So I went 4 of my first 5 picks were running backs.
A lot of RBs.
Well, Melvin Gordon was there, Leonard Fournette was there, Joe Mixon was there, and I was just going to take the best player, so that's what happened.
But you still got Diggs in the 4th round, which was somewhat of a surprise, too.
Well, nobody likes a Viking.
Yeah.
Another team that I liked was Luis's team.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He picked last, right? And still got amazing players. Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, Alex Collins, Royce Freeman.
Yep.
All great stars. Evan Ingram atop. Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Chris Carson, Kenny Stills. The reason he could trade me Devontae Adams is because he had Ted Ginn and Kenny Stills. So I thought that was great. It was good. The other good thing about the draft was the amount of smack talk that there was.
Yeah, right. That was
I really
fun.
appreciated that.
Yeah.
Last year, again, nobody knew what they were doing, and they were trying to yell at each other, but they were just horrible at doing it because they couldn't talk the language. It's like me on Snapchat. I don't really know what I'm doing.
I think it was, what was it? It was Isaac who was telling me that he was saying that Connor had a really good draft. And
he wasn't even
Isaac,
there.
he wasn't even there. I said I was basically drafting for Connor on best available, and Connor did wind up with a pretty good team.
Well, didn't he tell you guys he wanted, though? Didn't he want
He had some picks, but
Mike Evans and stuff?
And that was good, too. The people who weren't there actually did send me some picks and some things
and
that they
wanted.
wanted.
Aaron Rodgers, so that was good.
And he actually wound up with a fairly good team, too, so some positives there.
I think everybody's got a pretty good team. I don't know of anybody that's just horrible.
Yeah.
So it's good.
The one thing I have noticed is that the running backs, as the running backs are starting to disappear in the league, get injured and such, there's nobody available on the waivers for running backs.
That's why I picked 4 with my first 5 picks.
So, there you go.
And I picked up James Conner, which I love.
Yeah.
You ready to look at the
All right,
first
let's look
week's
at
games?
the first week's results. So we'll start with Noob Nation and Saquon United, right?
So who won? This was your game.
So this was me versus Brian, and I won by.
It was the old man's
That's right.
game.
It was the old man's game.
They played at 3 in the afternoon because that's when the only time they have energy.
I won by 1 point at the end of it.
By what?
93-52 to 92-46.
Wow. You won by 1.06 points.
And we all, both of us, had some really good consistency there. Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins both had good weeks for us.
Now I got to ask you a question. Why would you draft and start Jared Goff?
I actually didn't. I didn't draft him. I drafted Alex Collins. And then when I looked at the rankings, he didn't have a great matchup.
You mean Alex Smith?
Yeah, Alex Smith.
Alex Collins is a running back. You don't put him in at your quarterback.
I drafted Alex Smith, and he didn't have a good matchup, so I switched to Goff, which I'm glad I did.
But your namesake, Saquon United.
Yeah, Saquon United.
He
did well.
He points.
He was my. He wasn't my high score. He was almost my high score.
But he was huge. Rookie, first game.
Good game for him. He had 1 rushing touchdown and 106 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a good sign, so I'm happy with that.
Plus Keenan Allen, 21 points.
Keenan Allen continued his good scoring from last year.
I heard a story about Life Group that you were yelling at the TV after Life Group because Jordan Howard wasn't getting the carries or catches or whatever.
I was. At the beginning, they kept giving it to Tariq Cohen. But he did get a lot of carries by the end.
But the good news is your second wide receiver was horrible.
Yeah.
Your tight end was horrible.
Correct.
Your defense got -4.
-4. Brian's got -3, so we were both our defenses were
All right,
terrible.
let's look at Brian's team. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Great week for Kirk Cousins. That's going to be a
great week for the Vikings because they're amazing.
And the much maligned Lamar Miller in the offseason actually was very solid, almost 12 points.
He's my number one running back in the man's league, so I'm in trouble.
He's not bad. Ezekiel Elliott didn't have a great week this week. Didn't. I was watching some of that game. He really didn't get going until much later in the game.
But then his man, Adam Thielen, who you
Thielen,
have. Your
who
team
I have
name is
my other team name is Hooked on a Thielen. So, yes, he's. I was hoping he would do well, but not too well. Right? That was the.
So how did it feel? Were you watching games on Sunday or looking at your phone?
I was a little bit watching the phone, but my kids, Abby and Isaac, were going insane over every single play.
Well, let's look at Isaac's game then. Which one was Isaac? Who did he play? Iceman versus Fake Football.
Fake Football, so it was him against Luis.
And Luis has got an awesome team name.
And going into Monday night, Isaac needed 15 points from his defense to win.
On Monday night?
And if you remember watching that Rams game at the beginning, it did not look good at the beginning. But the Rams defense pulled through with 17 points. It was
amazing.
Great week. And Julio was a big week, 24 points talked about.
Isaac, though, he had consistency across.
Yes.
His quarterback, Cam Newton, 18 points. Dalvin Cook, 10. Beckham, 17.5. Juju Smith, Schuster, 15. So that's a good team.
His wide receivers are pretty strong. The thing that worries me on his team is his running backs. When you look at what he's got there, Jamal Williams is going to be a little bit hit or miss this year. Just
if anybody needs a running back, I got like 12.
Well, Isaac might. And Dalvin
Isaac
Cook
I won't trade with.
Good.
He hates me. He won't trade me.
But Beckham and Schuster, that's a good one too, I think. And Zach Ertz should be better than he was that night.
Well, and on Luis's team, 20 points from Russell Wilson, amazing. Julio Jones, 24. Devontae Adams, 17. So he had good, but the problem was
his running backs
are horrible. That's why I traded with him, because
a starting lineup of Sproles and Collins is not the greatest. Not the greatest.
None of his bench players are good at running back either. So.
Well, had I been helping him out, I would have told him to start Chris Carson, but, it wasn't my team.
Well, 7 points versus...
He's a starter. 5. Sproles is a backup. I'd have
2 points
Chris
difference.
Carson.
But Luis, first game, awesome job, good draft, way to go. You're only going to get better because they gave you my best stinking player, which I don't know why.
Yeah, he's got Melvin Gordon now, which is weird. Let's move on to Frankie and Connor. Two
of the best team names versus each other.
Yeah, I know. We've got Baked Bean Mafia versus You Mad Bro.
But here's the thing. Baked Bean Mafia had the second highest score.
Massive score.
And this guy wasn't even at the draft.
Yeah, and he was terrible last year. So it was
he didn't try, though. So I yelled at him after camp about working harder.
He said that he got so far behind at the beginning, he kind of just gave up, which, that's definitely a quality you want to have in life.
That sounds like a teenager.
Right, yeah. So here we go. We've got Aaron Rodgers. He was obviously a great week for Rodgers.
He would have gotten more had he
not
got injured,
Now let's pause and talk about that game for a second, though. That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
It was crazy.
Now, I know that you're not a Packer fan.
Or a Bear fan.
I'm kind of a Packer and a Bear fan, given my history from Illinois.
And a Cardinal Cup fan, I understand.
I'm not a Cardinal Cup fan.
And an Illini, Indiana fan.
No, but... that was unbelievable, that comeback. The Bears looked great in that first half. I thought they were going to run away with it.
I knew Rodgers had some left, but it wasn't looking good. But the thing that happened when Randall Cobb had that huge touchdown, I can get crazy, but I don't really that often. I yelled at the TV when that happened. I screamed.
That was unreal. What a game. I thought that was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Well, the rest of Connor's team, Deion Lewis had 19.5.
19 points for Deion Lewis.
23 Gurley, 25 for Evans.
Oh, my gosh.
James White got him 13 points. That's why he ended up with 142. And then our friend over here, who might be mad, bro, is... He lost by over 30 points or something like that.
Yeah, he had a good week from Brady. Freeman kind of
got hurt.
Kenyon Drake didn't have a great game. Amendola didn't have a great game. Brown was okay. Reed was okay.
Well, and I don't even know if he knew who Jordan Reed was.
Probably not.
He was probably asleep when we drafted him for him.
Right, probably. He slept through most of the draft.
Crabtree double digits, but look, his highest score.
Do you remember when he whined and complained about the Vikings and they score him 18 points? So
Never
you're welcome,
complain
Frankie.
about the Vikings. They're
you're
amazing.
welcome. You're welcome.
All right, let's go to the highest scoring team, though. We can't put it off anymore. They deserve the spotlight.
Okay.
Maverick and Goose.
Yes.
And
Nelson, East is Beast.
Yeah.
East is Beast actually had a good week.
You had an amazing score.
Had a good week. I mean, Drew Brees, 33 points. Marshawn Lynch was good. Duke Johnson didn't have a great week.
No.
He will be better, so don't give up on Duke Johnson.
Fitzgerald got 11, which is okay.
Fitzgerald.
Gronk
was bad.
huge.
Gronk was huge.
His kicker got 15 points.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 for the kicker and 13 for his defense. That was huge. Buck Allen was on his bench. Austin Eckler was on his bench. Both of them had 10 and 20 points.
Nelson, you have a good team. I'm a little bit intimidated. Don't tell anyone, but it's good.
It's funny though. Look at the bench of Maverick and Goose. 2-0-0-0-0-4. You're lucky you played the right team, dudes.
But the thing is, Alvin Kamara almost 40 points with just that one guy.
That's and Jay Ajayi, I don't know that he'll have another week like that either. That
34 points from Tyreek Hill, who I know they really wanted, and they were really glad that they got him.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that was, I mean, look at that. 11 for the quarterback, 20, 40, 15, 35, 2, 6, 6. I mean, so it was a big week from some of them. But
we have to run because those guys are flying Navy fighter pilots, and we are nothing, and they're going to mow us down all year long. I'm very scared.
What?
Maverick and Goose.
Oh, I was not with you on that. All right.
Top Gun. He's not old enough to remember it.
So now we're to
Judah, TJ.
Judah and TJ.
Which Judah won, barely.
One of the lowest scoring matches of the week.
Judah should know better.
This was the battle for mediocrity here. And, my gosh, TJ was rough. Stafford was crap that week. He was terrible.
He's got LaShawn McCoy, who I have in the man's league, is not good.
Hyde was good.
I can't believe he got 13 points.
Yeah, Hyde is going to be good. Hopkins did not have a great week. Cooks did not have a great week.
Chris Thompson on his bench had 21.
Just a rough week for most of those players. I mean, he's got a strong team. I think they'll be better than
Kelsey, Hopkins,
Stafford,
Allen Robinson should have done better. Everybody let you down. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault, but it was. So, carry on my wayward son.
You should have beaten Judah because he did horribly. But he got
Rivers.
31 points, and this is what happened. It's halftime of the San Diego game, and Judah's like, I'm getting killed. And I said, San Diego's losing. Phillip Rivers always throws 1,000 yards in the second half in the fourth quarter. Later on, Judah texts me during Life Group, when he should be paying attention and talking to people.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is football Jesus. That's what he said.
That's what he texted.
I'd show you it, but I'm recording with my phone.
Wow. Okay.
But that's what saved his team because he had 15, 10, 1.5. Doug Baldwin went out with the injury, got him 0.
Yeah, his receivers were 2 total points.
His whole team, Jarvis Landry, got him 15.
Landry was good. I have him
McCaffrey 10, Johnson 10, 15. So I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And to the matchup of the week here. The matchup of the week. Rock Hard Abs versus Digs in Your Grave.
Here's the problem. One of the two teams was the champion last year.
Yeah.
The other one never played before.
Did not play, yeah.
But I was worried because going into Monday night, I was still behind. I needed like 1.5 points to win at Monday night. And thankfully, my flex or my receiver, Cooper Kupp, 15 points.
Yeah.
I was texting or snapping with Abby, and I said, anything can happen. And she told me she had a good time playing.
Yeah.
Abby, you told me, and I hope it's okay I say this, She said that now there's kids at school and mostly guys talking about fantasy football, and she says, I actually know what they're talking about.
That's right, exactly.
And I said, it's fun, isn't it? She's like, yeah, it's really fun. So,
but she said the girls have lost interest, so she's got to balance that a little bit.
The girls have lost interest?
The girls that she talks to, she can't talk to them about it, so they're like, why are you talking to the boys about this? But
we need to start a ladies' league so that the girls can do it.
For Abby, I think you were kind of fortunate that her running backs pooped the bed a little bit. They were rough.
Well, the problem is Derrick Henry, rough. I don't like.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys I might not ever draft because you just never know. Kareem Hunt should have done a lot better.
And when she was getting ready to draft him, I was like, oh, don't do it, Abby. But I thought, I'd let her draft her own team. It's not my team. But yeah, I think, and
that's how people learn.
The problem is that her running backs on the bench really aren't much better. Kenneth Dixon just got injured, and he had a decent week, but now he's out. Ty Montgomery is going to be so-so, and Gio Bernard didn't look good, given Mixon played so well.
Randall Cobb, almost 26 points.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, 31 points. She has amazing receivers.
Good receivers.
Demarius Thomas, 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she had good weeks from the receivers.
Abby, you need a running back. I got 12.
You might need to trade with PJ. Roethlisberger kind of let her down too. I expected a bigger week from him.
Well, I was nervous about that, but then I heard there's a rainstorm at the game, and Roethlisberger's bad away from home, and he threw 3 interceptions and he fumbled and stuff. So I think that saved me because my team. I had a high score, but it didn't feel like it. Andrew Luck, 20. Melvin Gordon, 24. But then my second pick, Leonard Fournette, who's now my number 1 running back, he got
7.
injured.
Yeah, he didn't finish.
Stephon Diggs, if he didn't get a touchdown, it would have been less than 7 points.
Cooper Kupp.
My tight end, 2 points.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's how mine was.
But then again,
Mixon was good, though.
He got me a ton of points. He's playing right now.
And you were lucky the Ravens got you a bunch of points, too. They were good.
I changed my defense. I drafted a different defense at the draft, but then I saw Ravens were playing Buffalo. Sneaky tip. Pick up a defense who's playing a horrible team. Whoever's playing Buffalo each week, play them as your defense.
Yes. Yep. All right.
That's all the
Interesting.
games.
That's all the games. Anything else about any of those games? Any of the players particularly of interest from that? Anything else?
No, I'm just glad Luis was kind enough to trade me a receiver for my best running back. Yeah. But he's injured, Devontae Adams, so I might have just sank myself, but I hope.
Well, he'll be back. I don't think he's going to be out that long. I'm looking in the men's league. I had the Ravens defense tonight, and they've garnered -1 point. So off to a good start in the men's league.
Well, the Bengals scored a lot of points already. Have you been watching that game?
I mean, who was going to predict that? That was ridiculous.
I don't think they care about that.
Yeah.
Should we close this one out and let the youth league go?
All right. So that's it for the youth league.
We'll try to make better videos going forward. And if you want to be in the video, let us know. We could have guests, students and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you can talk smack or you can do whatever. But you guys are doing a great job getting your lineups in, starting them up. Here's the thing. Thursday night games, there's always at least one Thursday night game. Get your players in for Thursday night. Everybody else plays on Sunday, so you don't have to figure it out till then. And then you're playing one person each week. I know some people don't always know what we're doing. Just look in the app. If you have any questions, call us. There's an optimize button. You can just push it and it'll set your lineup to the best projections.
That doesn't always work. Did you notice that? Sometimes you click optimize and it doesn't put your best players in, but whatever. Remember, put your players in that you drafted high. The guys that you drafted to be good, those are the guys most of the time you're going to want to start. The other guys deeper in the lineup, your second receiver, second running back, your flex, those are the ones you're going to be thinking about switching.
One last reminder, I'm Diggsing your grave.